All right, I just finished watching a movie with my better half. We try to every once in a while. If we don't go to a film, uh, like go to the theater or the drive-in type thing, what we try to do is we will go to Walmart and we'll pick out like a 4K and like of a recent release or a fairly recent release anyway that we haven't seen, and we'll get it. We'll buy it. We'll bring it home. Sit down. We'll have our snacks at home, and just have the kiddies with us and enjoy a nice quiet evening. So that's what we did today. Tonight, by the way, we're going to be talking about the Second Sight flash sale that's going on. I will show you my very modest Second Sight collection, and we'll talk about something else that I didn't realize was a thing, and now I know it is, that I can talk about that. And also an update on my 31 Days of Horror. So we'll have some fun with that. Tonight, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper, and depending on how active it is, because it is a Friday night, so I know that there may be a lot of people gone out tonight. Unlike me, it was right here, always. Good news in my life is that the job that I recently told you about that I was going back to, I got a call and a confirmation on that today. So that is officially official. So that's always a good thing. Now, you guys are so quiet. You only own, oh, and ready. Welcome, dude. You only own one Second Sight. I actually, mine is pretty much like pretty close to that. Maybe one or two. So I'm going to open up the Second Sight like website. Morning, Mike. And the way the sale is going, and you can't see that there, so I'm gonna just have to say it. So all $15.99 Blu-rays are 2 for $20, and all $8.99 DVDs are 3 for $10. So that's actually pretty cool. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go through a list of the. Ask away. As you know, I always answer questions. I'll wait for your question. I would just, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to list these from high to low. Yeah, I'm guessing you never saw the tweet that I put out. Yes, I did actually. I know I'm going to get asked a lot about this, so I'm going to talk about it right now. As everybody that watches my channel knows, Black Christmas is not just my favorite horror movie of all time, the Bob Clark 1974 one, but it's called a Haitian movie. Black Christmas is also my favorite movie of all time. It's what got me into studying film itself. So, how do I feel about the remake trailer, or the second remake trailer? Well, first trailer, but it's the second remake. Well, here goes. Black Christmas was already remade, and around 2006 by Glenn Morgan. I think it's Glenn Morgan. I'm pretty sure it's Glenn Morgan. Someone like that. From that did like what's the chance? Hey there, Action Jackman. No, I have gotten used to the first remake because of some of the actors that are in it. But the film itself the script itself is really bad, and the thing with Black Christmas, or Black Xmas, I'll call it, so we don't get them confused between Black Christmas and the new Black Christmas and the middle remake, which is Black Xmas, is that he had just come off of doing a much more successful remake with Crispin Glover in the movie, well, in Willard, but unfortunately during that time, it didn't do that well. Studio was really kind of pressing down, and when he finished the film and went on to make the next film, Black Xmas, you could tell, like, even from the interviews and stuff that he did, he was not a director that was strongly steering a ship. He was pretty self-conscious of himself, and you could really tell if you watch the special features on Black Xmas. You'll see what I mean. It's not a guy that like is strongly behind this movie. There's a lot of studio, like there's a lot of fingers in that pie. Hey Andy. All right, so getting to Black Christmas, the new one, the trailer. So, oh my God, they showed a lot in that trailer. It was like Superman 3 when they showed the whole film. However, I do think that maybe we think we're seeing more than we are, and there's a bit more of a twist onto it than what we're seeing. And even if there's not, I'm gonna say something that's going to be kind of controversial, that people aren't going to expect to hear coming from me. But I'm gonna be bluntly honest with you because that's what you want. That's what I always give you guys. 1974's Black Christmas for me was the epitome of what like a psychological thriller slasher film could be. Everything from the acting to the isolation to the especially innovative camera work. Yeah, stay away from the trailer if you can watch the movie. Was beyond like what anything you could even imagine, even afterwards. No, actually, it's not a Netflix show. It's a new film from Blumhouse coming out in December, and I will tell you this. I'm going to try not to get too much into it, but I will say this. I'm okay with it. I am very okay with the trailer from Black Christmas, the new one. That's the thing. It felt like a slasher film. People are saying, well, this isn't Black Christmas. No, it's not Black Christmas. It's not the 1974 Black Christmas. It looks way more entertaining than the 2006 Black Christmas. It has very little to do with Black Christmas. But this isn't the first time this has been done. Hey, Cinematech. This isn't a new thing. This isn't a new concept. People think, well, why even call it Black Christmas? Well, why have a Silent Night, Deadly Night remake that's, Silent Night, that has zero to do with the film, really, except that it's a killer Santa. So you got that kernel of it there, and it worked out really well. It worked out really well. So I'll go on that hill and I'll say Silent Night was a damn good remake. Did everything work? Not everything, but like in a lot of movies, not everything does work, but most of it does work, and it's really great kills. It looks fun. In this, in my opinion, and this is going to be completely I know some people are going to agree with me on this, and that's okay. Everybody has their own opinion. So if you looked at you looked at the Black Christmas trailer and it didn't do anything for you, maybe you're not a slasher fan, or maybe you just thought it veered too far away. I completely understand that. But I feel that if you're going to go forward, if this remake thing is going to keep going, right? If we're going to keep doing this remake thing, then rather than do what they did in like Halloween or or Black Christmas 2006, over explaining things that never need to be explained, that never works. That doesn't work well. It just bogs it down, and makes it seem kind of silly. Or going in another direction and just say remaking it shot for shot, like Psycho, but Gus Van Sant, or the last 20 minutes. Hey, Hammerin. Or the last 20 minutes of Rob Zombie's first Halloween film. Why not take, aspects of what you've seen, like aspects of it, and not actually remake the film. Don't remake the film. Yeah, that was hilarious, wasn't it? I totally believed Sony on that one. I hope Sony does a good job with the Spider-Man films. I think everybody got a bit greedy, but I think that as a hilarious excuse, and I do think that they would do better under the Marvel banner, but that's just me. But no, I think if you're gonna keep doing remakes, if you're gonna keep doing movies, if you're gonna do like look at Sorority, House on Sorority Row. I love that film. I think it is a great classic nihilistic slasher, super dark. Sorority Row is a fun little film that works on its own, And aside from them being in a sorority, it really has nothing to do. Change directions, exactly, Mug. Change directions altogether. We all complain. Mother's Day, perfect example, zombies. Mother's Day is a perfect example about these remakes that are coming out, and they're doing the same thing, and they're regurgitating. Uh, Remaking Dawn of the Dead. What they did a decent remake. Now there's another one where the remake is very different from the original, and went well. I thought, some people don't like Zack Snyder. I thought Dawn of the Dead did really well, did a really good job of it. So you can remake a movie without remaking the script of the movie. That's the thing. You can't. You're not going to beat Bob Clark's film. You can have fun with Dawn of the Dead, but you're not going to beat the George Romero film. And it does, Rich. That's a good thing. It does. The studio that works on it is an important thing as well. Blumhouse, by far and large, I feel pretty comfortable with them. Now they always have these movies that come out of left field, like Truth or Dare, stuff like that, that are just there kind of to fund the next big film. But overall, they do put out a lot of really good stuff. And I think that Jason Blum's model for making films is a good idea. Spend more time. I don't know. No, this is where I disagree. I don't want to see. I love the idea of. I haven't seen it part two yet, so I can't really say. I love the idea of like Blum saying, "Okay, you can make a movie. This is what you got. This is the amount you got. If you can do the movie with this, if you can use your creativity to do it." Because the one thing I do like about the Blumhouse films is that they have brought in a lot of creative directors and stuff. And Slender Man was horrible. uh, and it gets a lot of good stuff out there. All right. So before I go any further, and thank you for asking that, because that is a really good question. And I was waiting for somebody to ask me that question, to be honest with you. So yes, I thought it was kind of fun and funny and charming and a throwback to an earlier slasher slash era. If I had to say, it reminded me of anything at all at the time that I saw it, from the without give, I don't want to say too much for people that haven't seen the trailer. I don't want to like spoil it for anybody there. Like it reminded me like the final girls aspect of it, like against the killer type thing, reminded me of like something like You're Next, where you're going to get some really kind of badass sequences in this film. I can already see that coming. I can already see like the crossbows and the fights kind of coming. Um, Slenderman. Oh, I don't think they do that because they tend to pick some of the better things. I am baffled on what the box set is. I'm completely baffled. I have no idea. I thought maybe that those letters down there meant something, and somebody like on my Facebook said, well, that means received, RECD, and the date beside it. So I'm like, okay, well, there goes that hint of a clue that people thought was going around. So there's no clue in the box set. Like there's no clue on in the letters or anything like that. What film series? Like, actually, please say so, because if it's something that could come out that we're not thinking of, and it's the thing, I don't think it can be something small, because this is their first box set. It's like, oh, are you talking about? Hold on. Follow me. If it's what I'm thinking of, there are actually a couple of my favorites. I would love to see Cabin by the Lake, where he's the horror author in the first one and he's killing all these people. And in the second one, like they're making a film about what happened. Great movies. I love these films. I'm a huge fan. Jed Nelson had this period in time where he did a lot of these like kind of serial killers. He did it in Relentless too. He played the serial killer in Relentless as well. So I'm a huge fan. I'm glad you mentioned that actually, because that's one that I would love to see on Blu-ray. Those would be excellent. Do you think it has to be a European title? Cabin by the Lake, by the way, that would be an. I would buy that. That would be a right away buy because it is. They were really fun and it's kind of darkly humorous too. Judd Nelson's always good at putting like this kind of weird dark humor in there. Bob Clark got to work with Judd Nelson because he did From the Hip, right? That's the Liar movie that Judd Nelson did. Yeah, I know. I kind of stumbled upon it and read it. That's kind of, and I'm guessing it's probably what you did as well, right? Like kind of just you were somewhere and you kind of stumbled upon the film, and I just grabbed right away. Paul Morrissey box set. I don't know if I'd buy that right away. I know what you mean. That's the Andy Warhol Dracula and Andy Warhol Frankenstein, right? Fresh Frankenstein, right? Blood Dracula. They're great comedic films, and if you're a gore fan too, they're great. They're great for that as well, with a tinge of the Andy Warhol artsiness into them. Udo Kier is definitely the star of those films, in my opinion. But I don't know. It's hard. I mean, the thing that's stopping me from like guessing certain things in the Vinegar Syndrome box set is this, and I'll be completely honest. Is there are a few things that it could be. Like I thought of like maybe if they got they got a deal with Lakeshore, right? They had the Lakeshore Entertainment deal, with the Lawrence Hilton Jacobs style movies and stuff like that. So does that bleed over to PM Entertainment? And I would like to kind of know because I kind of got a feeling that they may have some rights to. I know a lot of people. I think a lot of people did actually, but there's enough people online that are flying off the handle about that trailer. Um, the thing is, rather, you just gotta take a minute and just think about it long term before you just go into the rant. Although I guess for some people the rants can be more entertaining. Obviously, that's it. But do they have? They've got to deal with PM Entertainment, right? As well. It's definitely worth it. I can't afford it right now. That is the complete, honest to God's truth. Everybody thinks because Mr. Vincent, that's my name on Twitter, by the way. Because everybody thinks. But if I do some political stuff on Twitter too, so I'd say follow me Instagram instead. Much more entertaining. Uh, but I'd say, yeah, it's tough. This is their first box set, so it's a big deal, and they've been hyping it. This is not something that they just came out and told us. They've been hyping this and stuff. So I kind of expect it to be something big. If it's not, I mean, that's going to be a huge. I haven't seen them make a mistake that big yet. But can you imagine if so this is our first box set and it's like I don't know, Toxic Avenger, or or it's like three random movies like some of the Trauma era PM Entertainment group films. And if you're not familiar with those, there are some really bad horror films that Trauma put out. And they would put them out in like these three packs usually, these Toxies, Triple Terror, and stuff like that. Where they put out like some really, really cheesy, like you'd have, if you're lucky, you get one kind of good one, like maybe like a Blood Hook, which is kind of fun. And then you get some other stuff that you really had to kind of slog yourself through. I don't think Jack Frost 2, I really don't. Because one, that would be on its own. And Jack Frost 2 isn't half the film that Jack Frost is, like in my opinion, like to be completely honest with you. And I can't see them doing, I mean like, maybe if they said, the mystery title, maybe that could be the mystery title. But what about Psycho Cop? We got Psycho Cop Returns, but we don't have Psycho Cop. Now, I'll be honest with you, Psycho Cop Returns is a better movie than Psycho Cop, so Psycho Cop is kind of fun. Just don't expect it to be at the level that Psycho Cop Returns is at. Well, Jack Frost already was like, when you really look at it, to be completely honest, Jack Frost isn't the greatest film. It's it's fun in parts, but it's never going to be like my favorite Christmas horror film. There are way more titles that are going for that title, going for that place in my heart. Psycho Cop be awesome. I remember seeing Psycho Cop, and I'm going to be completely honest. First time I saw it, I was at my mom's place. It was on VHS at my mom's old place, and Psycho Cop was. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed with it. So I when Psycho Cop Returns came out, I passed it by. And it was only when Vinegar Syndrome put it out that I think I actually saw the full Psycho Cop Returns. I was like really impressed. I thought it was a really well done film and super funny. But again, I would like to see Psycho Cop. I would buy that right away. So why do you think Jack Frost 2? So is it confirmed? Like, because I'm not quite sure if this is the October release or if this is the Black Friday release, but I think this is the October release. That Unmasked 25, aka Sex Bomb, is going to be the one of the October releases. Correct? As far as I know. If for those that are not familiar with Sex Bomb, Unmasked 25, it is kind of in an odd way. It's maybe I don't want to say it's a Friday 13th parody because it really isn't. But it's a different film. It's kind of comedy and kind of gore. I remember it being like heavily focused on in like in kind of like Gore Zone and magazines like that. But it was very different than I expected. The coverage and the look of the killer and all that type of stuff and then when I actually saw the film, wasn't the same vibe. I felt like the magazines like kind of misrepresented exactly what I was going to watch because it was called Unmasked 25 and you had this really cool like poster. The fear films. That'll be interesting. Actually, the fear films are ones that, as far as I know, Cinematheque have been out of print for a while. For those unfamiliar, the fear films were two films that were done kind of independent type films, I think, or at least regional horror. And it has this wooden character, actually. It's not Pinocchio or anything like that, but it's an unusual film. But they were fun. I really like the fear films, and I don't have them, so those would be good films. I expect, not for Jack Frost though. I think that we're going to get one for their other Christmas movie, Christmas Evil. I think we're going to get like a Christmas box, like like a Christmassy type box. That's the one. That's what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting like a Jack Frost one. I'm expecting a Christmas Evil box, like maybe like that looks kind of like like you put it together like a Christmas box. At least it's different. I mean, I could get a bit excited about a fear film set because that hasn't been around for a while, and a lot of people really might know it. My concern is they're going to go for something that they think is bigger. Again, because I can't think of any other thing. Uh, Silent Night, Dead Night. Well, obviously, Scream Factory has one and two. If they can wrest the rights from Lionsgate to do it, that would be an amazing one, and it would be. You wouldn't have to blink, guys. That I would be pre-ordering that one the second they announced it. I have the only copies that are available right now for these films. This is a 3-disc set, the Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, 4, and 5, because spoiler alert, I'm going to be doing videos about the entire Silent Night, Deadly Night films. It's true. When I'm up I'm going to be doing like a holiday horror in the month of December. By the way, guys, just to let you know, a few months ahead, I'll be doing holiday horror. We'll be looking at all the Silent Night, Deadly Night films, including the remake. We'll look at some of the other films as well. So hopefully you can look forward to that. It's a little ways off. There are 5 Silent Night, Deadly Night films. It's garbage day. There are 5 Silent Night, Deadly Night films. The first one was the is the story of Billy or Ricky? Billy, right? Yeah, Billy. Which is a pretty straightforward, more of a serious one, and I do think that one gets a bit underrated. It is on September 13th. They're making the announcement. Then there's the second one, which is the garbage day one that everybody knows. The third one actually is a bit of a weird film. Nobody wears, not for this one, for an erotic box that may be later on, but for the October release, we're looking at a horror release. I'd bet the farm on that, but I don't have a farm. So anyway, wait a minute, I do, but I'm not betting that farm because that's my better half. So, but anyway, the third Silent Night Dead Night film stars Bill Moseley. Yep, Bill Moseley, the guy from all those Rob Zombie movies. That Bill Moseley. Otis, him, he's in it. But in a very different way than you think. He's playing Ricky, but in this movie, he doesn't wear he actually goes out of his way not to wear a Santa outfit, though he does kill Santa in the film. What he does have is a glass dome over his head with his exposed brain. That's Silent Night Deadly Night Part 3. It also has a psychic that's blind. It's a film. Part 4 was actually done by Brian Yuzna, and it has Clint Howard now playing Ricky, who magically grew back the top of his head, so his brain's no longer exposed. But in Silent Night Deadly Night 4, it has very little to do with Ricky, and it has more to do with witchcraft and cults. And Part 5 stars Mickey Rooney, and that one is pretty messed up, and it's called Time Maker, and it's a lot of fun. Slumber Party movies are as far as I know, they're still owned by Scream Factory, though they are to print. But that would be a big set for them, though I don't think that's what I would be. I heard the Sorority House Massacre movies that I guess earlier on might be an option. That one of them is owned by, at least one of them is owned by Scorpion, so that may not be a possibility. So it's really hard to tell. But the thing is that we obviously know the Vinegar Cinema is doing right is we're all talking about it. Hey, Craig. Having a pretty good. I got my Dr. Pepper, so we are getting ready for tomorrow because we're going to get hit with a bit of a tropical storm, kind of like effects of the whole, or Hurricane Dorian that's going on, because we're just a bit off from it. So we'll get like everything's closing around 12 in noon tomorrow, and anything that was going on. Yeah, thank you. Is canceled. My my son, he works at this like map store, this geographic store, and he's like and their place was canceled too, because buses, everything's going off the road, right? That's another reason I wanted to make sure I did a Friday night video in case I can't do a Saturday night video. So just to let you know, guys, if I'm not doing a Saturday night video, more than likely the reasoning is because of the storm, because I normally do like to do a video on Saturday nights. But it is, it's fascinating how Criterion has announced the Showa era Godzilla set. Shout Select has announced the Abbott and Costello on Blu-ray for the first time, complete set. And Indicator has announced the Incredible Hammer Volume 4 set. And those are 3 incredibly impressive sets that are coming out. It's 3 amazing sets, but we can't stop talking about the one we don't know. So that's incredible marketing. I would not buy it, but I'd be happy that it existed. I'll be happy for other people that wanted the Katsune Kamai films. Not that I don't like them. It's just I don't feel it's it would be, for me, the same as Toxic Avenger. I don't consider it like a movie series that would be a Halloween buy. there were some like, and these were good films, but I was still iffy on buying it. Like last year's October package, I'm still was I thought was pretty solid, but I wasn't the biggest fan like originally of Death by Temptation. Not that I thought it was a really bad film, but it just didn't hit me at the time as being like the right for the October package. But I was wrong. It's actually a decent film. Nukem High or Toxic Avenger. Uh, well, Toxic Avenger has got like parts one and part four because that's that's the really big ones in the series. Parts two and part three are a little bit more tepid if I remember them correctly. Um, Class Nukem High is fun. Uh, I didn't see the last one. I was supposed to go to the opening of it. I wish. I would love to go to their physical location. If I did, you would see a video on here about it because I would let them know the guy that's been like promoting their stuff since before they became popular, and that's this guy right here. They don't know who I am still, um, but but yeah, but you have 16 on pre-order between now and Christmas. Action Jackman, do you have any of the Doctor Who's on pre-order? Tell them to send me a shirt, Rich. Tweet them and say, this guy promotes your stuff. Send him a shirt. A shirt for Mr. Vincent. There you go. A t-shirt for Mr. Vincent. Get that hashtag going. I want it to be something unique. Blood Freak I wouldn't want. I got Blood Freak, the 88 film edition of Blood Freak. It's an okay film. It's never been a favorite of mine. I wouldn't personally want it for myself. Now, that being said, at the end of the day, if Vinegar Syndrome puts out something that's not personally for me, but it's going to sell a lot, that's fantastic. Because I have an idea and a roadmap for my 31 Days of Horror. Every year I want Vinegar Syndrome to be part of that. But, unfortunately, I'm not quite sure this year. But that being said, I do have a roadmap for my 31 Days Horror, and last night I ordered a couple movies on Amazon for the 31 days. Oh, great! Thanks a lot, Greg. And feel free, talk with me, talk to other people, ask questions, go off topic. It doesn't matter. Of the other, it's been a long. Oh, maybe. That's the killer part. When you've got a set, and this is the the double-edged part of this sword. When it's hyped this much, and let's be fair to Vinegar Syndrome, it's us, the movie community, the collectors, that are like, they're all aboard, the hype thing, but they're not hyping it to the extent that we are. Like, we're really hyped about it. But Freddy's Nightmares, man, I'm all there for that. I used to love this series. It is the 13th. They actually are normally on Friday the 13th, because I think it's Friday the 13th, right? What they normally do, and it's not, and some people think, well, maybe it's Friday the 13th. No, like they've done this before, announced things on Friday 13th. Actually, I'm going to be unboxing those. They should be arriving on Tuesday. Death warmed up. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was looking at it the other day because there are some Severin titles that are going to be on my 31 Days Horror list. It's pretty brutal, man. I'm not sure. I'm a bit wimpy nowadays when it comes to some of the gory horror. I still like some of it, but it seemed more like I can watch Body Melt over and over again, but this movie just kind of seemed like more gore than plot. But I don't know. It's one I get, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to fit for this 31 Days of Horror. I did pick up, I got 3, so I'll be unboxing them. And what I'm going to do, as I get things, or as I order things, as I know things are coming, I'm going to let you guys know what I'm putting in there, so that when we do and before October comes, like definitely a week or so before October comes, or maybe 2 weeks, I'm going to try and do a list of the 31 days of horror that I'm going to be watching, and kind of give you about sequels. Oh my God, that would be horrible, dude. Uh, but that made me laugh. Thank you. Uh, I have movies like that just like as a kid, like I just really connected with, um, and I understand that, man. And it is like a popular New Zealand horror. I'm just a bit of a wimp, but I will. It's one that I do have to own one these days, though. Voice Academy, is that coming in November? Is that the November one? Ghoulies. I don't want. It, I don't know how I feel about that. Doesn't Scream Factory have parts one and two? Look, I think I got parts one and two over there. Because it would have to be the other. If there's any other, is there four Ghoulies films? Like I know there's four Critters films. There's four Ghoulies films, right? Because there's the college one, stuff like that. Was it the first New Zealand horror? Actually, I didn't know that. So I learned stuff from you. I'm being serious. To watch Apocalypse. Oh, enjoy the film, man. Um, are you watching the Redux? Do you want to know what I watched tonight, guys? They're revealing it, Action Jackman, on September the 13th. They'll be doing the reveal for the. I totally forgot that. The Warlock, I really did. Whole 3 years before Bad Taste. So you learn something new every day. I'm not going to lie, that kind of makes me want it more. I watched a very non horror film, so I'm just going to throw it out there right now as we go on talking. Because I haven't even mentioned Second Sight, like, sale yet. I'll get to that after. I watched, and tell me, and be honest, guys, if you've seen this movie, you got to be honest with me. I watched Pokemon Detective Pikachu with my better half tonight. The 4K release of that. Did anybody see that film? Don't worry, I'm not going to get into it very deeply, but I just want to give a couple comments on it. I'm a Pokemon fan, just so you know. I remember having part three at one point. I had a couple on VHS actually, but anyway, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, way better than I thought it was going to be. And I think what makes it work. Oh yeah, it had all the Pokemon in it. Squirtle was there, Charizard was there, Charmander was there. Is that the computerized effects are really good, and two, they take the time to they kind of throw you into this world where kind of humans and Pokemon are kind of like side by side, and they make it believable, and that's the key to it. That's slightly more intense than my Pokemon film. That's the key to making the film work. And they had, I think, his name Justice Smith, who was a really good actor in the film, and of course Ryan Reynolds doing the voice of Pikachu. So really cool. If you ever get a chance to watch it, watch with no mind. Snorlax too, dude. Yes, it has Snorlax. It's got them all. It's got Jigglypuff in one sequence. The thing is that it has them all there, and it's just kind of like it's matter of fact. Like this is a city, and like there's not Pokemon trainers. This isn't like Ash Ketchum type of thing. This is basically they're all living in this society, side by side, and the Pokemon they've kind of evolved to the part where not evolved in Pokemon evolving, but the relationships evolved to where they're partners, where you can have like a partner. On I I've seen part of Bohemian Rhapsody Warlock, and I love it for the Queen music. I just get really annoyed with the fact that it's it's so non-factual with almost everything that it does. Yes, actually, thank you, Hammers. That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me so much of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, so much in that vein. But for instead of like animation, like animated characters for Pokemon thing, it really does. Yeah, and even to the point where this is a mystery story. I will tell you right now, you will guess the mystery like right away. It's not a hard mystery to figure out, but it's the dynamics of the characters and the world building that makes it work. That's my opinion anyway. Check it out. Let me know what you think, and we'll get back to the horror stuff before I start losing people and losing cred for liking Detective Pikachu. But I really, really did. Tomorrow night we're watching Godzilla and King of the Monsters. By the way, we bought the 4K that one tonight. Every once in a while, we'll go to like a Walmart. We're picking up some groceries and that, and my better half will say, "Well, we're gonna have a date weekend type thing, where we're just gonna like get a couple movies." So she'll usually, when it comes to that, like she'll pick up the movies that we buy. I wanted to get Shazam. We didn't get Shazam this time. We got we got Detective Pikachu because she wanted to see it, and we got Godzilla King of the Monsters. Both of them are legendary pictures. I didn't realize that though. He did. I mean, he is amazing. Like I have nothing like but praise about his portrayal of Freddie Mercury. He was incredible. It's it's just, and it's a nitpick thing, but it's the way they kind of played with some of the events and the timeline. I think that's the thing that kind of bugged me a bit. But that's just me. It's still, I thought it was a really fun movie, and I really liked the Queen music. Well, see, then if you're non-horror, then you can watch Detective Pikachu. All right. So as we're chatting, I've only got a couple Second Sight films here. So Second Sight's having a flash show right now. I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Like it's 15.99 totals are going to be 2 for 20, uh, and 8.99 titles, DVD titles, are going to be 3 for 10. So I might look into that a little bit because I didn't know they were 3 for 10. I thought they were 3 for 20. That's kind of interesting. So this here, of course, is one of the second 99. This is one of the limited editions he had. When a Stranger Calls. Now I think there's a standard edition of this one as well, and it does have both films on there too, like When a Stranger Calls and When a Stranger Calls Back. Because I know if you buy the Scream Factory edition, you're only going to get When a Stranger Calls Back. It doesn't have both films on there. So this one, of course, had a CD and all that stuff, but all the features and the movies are all on the one disc. And I'm pretty sure there's a standard edition. This is a great one. A couple of these I'm about to show you are out of print in the steelbook editions of it, but they may still be available. Well, I'll get it out. They may still be available in a regular edition. So this is their edition of Return of the Living Dead. And this one right here is probably famous for one, having the complete and full documentary More Brains on here as a bonus feature, as well as having all the bonus features from the More Brains documentary on here as well. And this is, I'm going to check that out in a second to see what's on sale. And this is actually the only one that has the actual original soundtrack to the Return of the Living Dead on it. If you've picked up the Scream Factory edition of Return of the Living Dead, there are a couple songs that have been altered and are from the original soundtrack. Next up is the Basket Case Trilogy. Now again, this has a standard edition as well. This is one that my better half bought for me as a surprise one Halloween. And it has all 3 Basket Case films. Each have their own Blu-ray. There are features on it, including that really big Basket Case documentary that showed up on the Arrow edition. And really cool one there. And the only other Second Sight film that I've got is the Ninth Configuration, which is a William Peter Blatty film. I actually really like this one. Not for everybody, but I thought it was a fun film. It is kind of long. Right, it is kind of like 180 minutes, so not too long. But a very, very different film. So what I'm going to do now is I'm opening up the Second Sight website. I'll let you guys know exactly what's on sale, because it is, it's not everything that's on sale. It is the $15.99 titles, and it's the, good question. I think a lot of these are region locked, to be honest with you. All right. Come on. I'm going to open these up and see. So this one here, they look to be region locked. Yes, that is correct. Almost everything that they have, I think, is region locked. Now, if you're buying a DVD in 2019, I'll be honest with you, very rarely can you not watch a DVD Like Blu-rays, you got to have a region-free player. A DVD, you just got to have a computer with a with the DVD drive, and you just switch the region. It's really easy when it comes to the computer. Uh, oh, some of these are actually there's a print already. All right, so let me. Is this the? Okay, I want to make sure. I'm looking at the Blu-ray first. So I'm going to give you guys. I'm going to start at the $15.99 stuff because that's where the sale starts, and we'll go through them there. And I'll if it's one that I think is really good, I'll actually mention it to you, and I'll say, that's one. There's one to think of it type of thing. So, the classic, kind of erotic film Betty Blue is the first one that shows up there. Next up is Extra is region free. Actually, you're right, because they do have a few region free ones. And thank you for letting us know that, because that's one of the ones that's on sale. So Scanners is here. If you don't have the Criterion edition of Scanners, they have a really neat edition of Scanners. And as you can tell, much like Severin films, they do use a black case as opposed to a regular Blu-ray case. Space Truckers is there. Long Weekend, that's a classic, is there. And yes, you can buy When a Stranger Calls, When a Stranger Calls Back, the standard edition. So basically, it's not the box set. So you're not going to get the poster and that. But what you do get with that one is you will get both films, the original short, The Sitter, new interview with Fred Walton, new interview with Rociana Alda, new interview with the composer, reversible sleeve with new and original artwork. See, some of these are talking about. Next up is the one that was mentioned by Enready, and I think Warlock too, and that is Extra. Now, Extra, there was a set that was originally out, limited edition. That's no longer available. But there is the Extra Standard Edition, and don't think that Standard Edition means that there's nothing on it. It is actually loaded with stuff. The Extra Edition has a 57-minute documentary called Exploring Extra. No, it doesn't actually. I don't think Space Truckers does have a North American release. There's a World of Extra, Beyond Extra, Extra Exposed, Loving the Alien. Man, I like that film. Next up is they have a standard edition of Amityville Horror, the original film, and they have a steelbook edition of Amityville Horror, which actually looks kind of sexy, with a ton of features on there. If you don't have the set already, followed up with The Boys in the Band, the film Romance, and this one is another Severin film is going to hit you right now, is Next of Kin, which is an Australian film, and actually is really good. I don't have it yet, and I really should, because it's actually not a bad film. So Next of Kin is there. Now remember, these are $15.99 each, but when you buy two of them, it's £20 for two, and that's a really good price for two of these films. So that's £10 each for some really excellent films. Next up is their edition of The Changeling, which is considered to be the best version of The Changeling that has been put out. I have the Severin edition of the Severin edition of The Changeling, but apparently the second sight one is a bit better. And they followed it up with one that came up by MVD Rewind, one of the very first, I think the very first MVD Rewind. But they also put it out as well, and it's DOA, A Rite of Passage. Now, I wonder if they have, yep, and they do have the feature-length, full-length documentary on there as well, with the about the making of the documentary, which actually is kind of better than the actual documentary itself. Next up is Chow Manhattan, and the original Picnic at Hanging Rock is there. Once Were Warriors. Like, I mean, like, they have different stuff. La Enfants de Paradise. I'm sorry, my French is not good. And the remake of Breathless with Richard Gere is on Blu-ray here. As far as I know, I think that's only on DVD here, and that's an old MGM release. We have the Canterville Ghost, and it looks like it's the one with Patrick Stewart and Nev Campbell. And for international buyers, it's from £100. The shipping is free. It has The Slipper and the Rose, Channel Zero Season 1, Candle Cove. And if you have not experienced Channel Zero, it is a great little anthology horror series that unfortunately didn't make it past the third season, but it is really well done, and it is better than American Horror Story. Next up is they have their release of Ben, and they have a release of Willard as well, and all of these have those sexy black cases. I like Jason. Endless Summer is here, and of course the cool and classic Dreamscape with Dennis Quaid, which I've always loved. I don't think has this one got a North American release, Electric Dreams, which I haven't seen for years, but it's a movie about this guy. He has a computer, and the computer kind of comes to life, and he's trying to woo this girl, and there's a Bud George song in it called "Love Is Love," which is actually one of my favorite songs, and in the movie, the computer writes the song "Love Is Love," and the computer's actually jealous of the girl that he starts dating. So Brother of the Blades is there. They have their edition of Reanimator there, and yes, it you can get this basket case trilogy, not the steelbook. It'll come in this here. I think so. I'll check into it for you. I think it would be uncut. Is the Scream Factory one uncut? I saw it on Precinct 13. There's the 40th anniversary edition that's here. The really fantastic film that my better half has many DVD copies of, what I would love to get this for, is Absolute Beginners, which is a David Bowie film. It's a musical that definitely check it out. The Hound of the Baskervilles is here. I'm guessing that's the one with, I'm pretty sure it's Ian Richardson. Yeah, it is. Ian Richardson and Hound of the Baskervilles is here, and Sign of Four as well. It's not? I'll have to look into it. I really don't know. The Ninth Configuration, which I showed you, is there. Ghost Story, Stop Making Sense, and the movie that I went to the theater and saw like at least 5 times, Colors, with Sean Penn and Robert Duvall. I'm not going to torch you with my rap version of that song, but it was a really great IC song. The classically excellent film Possession, which if you haven't seen it, is a fantastic film. So they have Possession here. And it's not a bare bones edition of Possession either, with Isabella and Johnny and Sam Neill. So it's got audio commentary, repossessed the film's UK and US reception. All right, see, Colors is amazing. I love that film. A Divided City, the Berlin locations, the sounds of Possession, an exclusive interview with the composer. Our Friends in the West, exclusive interview with the legendary producer. Basha, a new featurette on Polish artist Barbara Basha. Theatrical trailers, The Other Side of the Wall, The Making of Possession. Interview with the director, and English subtitles for the hearing impaired. Mississippi Burning is here. They did actually put out Texas Chainsaw Massacre over there too. So if you want to get like their, and it's with the classic cover too that a lot of people are going to remember. So it's that one right. I remember that one. Oh, let me see if I can get it right. That one right there. I would never name a child Chewbacca, because that child will come back and they will Menendez Brothers your butt. Logan Toxic tonight. Second Sight is having a sale. Their $15.99 titles, Blu-ray titles, are going to be 2 for $20, and their DVD $8.99 titles are going to be 3 for $10. Also, I am sure you've probably done this. Sylvester McCoy, season 26. It's out. It was not out, but it was announced, and I pre-ordered it yesterday. Because no way in hell am I missing out on that. So yeah, there's just, and is this a French film? Yes, it is. Okay, so the Luc Besson movie Taxi, which was remade in North America with Jimmy Fallon or someone like that. But the actual French film Taxi is really good. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. They also have a Blu-ray of a movie that I'm pretty sure is not available here yet, and that's the Super Mario Brothers. So if you ever want to go back and watch that John Leguizamo film, you can check it out. They have Streets of Fire on Blu-ray here. Found Queen Thief, yeah. State of Grace, Southern Comfort, which is great because we didn't get that one here. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome set. I don't have Survivals. That's the one I really want. Yes, I did order Mackay from the UK. The last 2 releases, I've got the John Pertwee one coming from North America, but the release for, oh, you're bad man. Have a good night. The release for Colin Baker, the Trial of Time Lord, I ordered that one from the UK, and I ordered the recent Sylvester Mackay one from the UK as well, because I like to have things uniform. I did want to have a couple of those box sets because they really are nice looking sets, and they are limited edition, and they got like books and like they're all done with like different like artwork, and so I really wanted to try to have at least a couple of those sets in my collection. And I'm a really big fan of Trial of a Time Lord, and Sylvester McCoy's it's the 26th season with the Cartmel plan is an epic. It's an epic series. So with that, I had to go. Are you going to stick with the North American, or are you going to get Logan, or are you going to get any of the UK ones? Have one of them there. Pertwee one, your Pertwee one is not out in North America yet, but it comes out in October. The Pertwee one was available because all these get released in UK before here. Going straight North American. Are you sure you don't want to get one of those? What about if like a really sexy looking one comes out? Like, just have one of them in your collection. One of those big with the big thick spines and the. Just saying, just putting it out there. Uh, okay, so we got Southern Comfort, Short Circuit, Midnight Run, Heaven's Gate. I'm not going to go through them all like in detail. Gregory's Girl, From Beyond. They got a great cover for From Beyond. Flight of the Navigator, Carmen, The Brood, and Hard Day's Night that are available for the second site one. And I'm gonna say them quickly because I know you guys can go and check them out yourself as well. And you definitely will be doing that. So let's go to high to low again, and then we'll go down to. I know, I thought about that. I mean, I really did. Like, because I am, you know me, Logan, I'm really OCD about stuff like that. But it's just the fact of having, like, I've got like UK and North American Doctor releases right now, right? When Trial of a Time Lord came out, I grabbed the UK one right away. But for this, where they are such special editions and they are so limited, and some of them are going out of print and going for insane prices. Have you seen the prices that first Doctor Who? It's nuts. I mean, it's like $600. Who the heck's going to buy that? Apparently, some people. So I want to have a couple in my collection, and I don't think that I think the ones I picked are going to be less popular as a limited edition. Like Trial of a Time Lord may not be the most popular release. I think season 26 will, because McCoy did really good. Somebody mentioned Paul Morrissey. Actually, I would not be down there for that, but I'll be glad it's there. And I can do that actually because Colin only has 2 seasons, and like McCoy only has 3, right? 3 seasons, I think. 3 series. So, and I'd probably keep the Peter Davisons and the Tom Bakers in the North American, and it could go from there. Unless they get like a really sexy thing, then I'll be like, I don't know, man, because once we get to the season where you're getting stuff like the really the gothic the Hinchcliffe Holmes stuff, it depends on what they put in that set. What, really? See, me, I got to. I'm just the opposite. Normally, I think, okay, I got them all uniform, but I'm having 2 sets that are UK, and I'm very excited about that fact because I've seen the people doing the unboxings, and I've seen the UK unboxings, and they're so good. All right, I'm not going to mention everything here, but I'll mention some of the stuff that they got on DVD, $8.99. Garbage Pail Kids is there. We got Trapeze, which is a really good Burt Lancaster film with Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis is amazing in that. Mystery of Edwin Drood. Ben and Willard are there. On Any Sunday. I'm just mentioning a couple. Like, these are some second sight ones. You can still get like all the movies that are on Blu-ray on here on DVDs if you want to just have them. And if I'm correct, I think they all have the same features as well. Except there's more stuff on the Blu-ray stuff, because Blu-ray has like sorry, on the DVD, because the DVD has stuff like Warlock, and I'm pretty sure. Let me just check the features on that, because I think the DVDs have features as well. Maybe I'm wrong. Good Steve Miner film, the Warlock is. I got the Vestron set though, so I really don't need to. It is. I mean, they're really nice looking sets. So when they came out with the Trial of a Time Lord set, and it was cheaper for me to buy it from the UK than it was for me to buy it in North America. It is cheaper actually. Um, I was like, Trial of a Time Lord stands on its own. That was my justification for Trial of a Time Lord. Trial of a Time Lord stands on its own, and Colin Baker only has two series of Doctor Who that he did, like two legit series of Doctor Who. So if I have the rest, if I got North Americans from before, and I just get Colin Baker, for instance, in for North American, uh, then it fits. Then they go together. So the way I see it right now is I'll probably stick with the regular releases, the North American releases for the stuff pre Colin Baker, unless they have a really good like Patrick Troughton. Then I'm sorry, I've got to get that. But I'll go with like the English releases as long as the prices stand like pretty much the same or a little bit less for anything past the Peter Davison era. Because then you got like, because then you can justify it then. So think of that, right? Because Trial stands on its own. Um, what you could do, here's the thought, Logan, is you can take from Trial and, or even before Trial, right? Because eventually they'll put the other one that he did as well, which is actually a really good season. People like underrate the first series that Colin Baker did. It's really good. Vengeance and Varos is excellent. And just go from there. Like you'd have your North American ones right on up, right? And then when you get to like the last five series, the penultimate, the John Nathan Turners, the Doctor takes a dark turn. If you want to put it in a specific way, because that's where the Doctor begins to get darker. When Colin Baker's regeneration doesn't work quite right, and then we know he stays for the two series. Then we get Sylvester McCoy, who seems a little bit silly at first, but then it gets a little bit more ominous and more mysterious. And we get the Cartmel plan, and the Doctor takes a bit of a darker turn. So you've got the kind of the really classic Doctor Who, and then you got the '80s stuff with the Doctor becoming more mysterious and darker throughout that run. So you can justify it that way as well. So if you need a way to justify it to your better half, there you go. That's one way. I'm still enamored, I'm not gonna lie, with the Peter Capaldi coat, which I did wear outside the other day. Uh, afterwards. I'll be honest that aside from it being a Doctor Who coat, which is amazing, it's the best fit that I have ever had, ever, for any coat that I own. And people that know me well know that I got quite a collection of coats, like a large collection of coats, not like a large collection of Doctor Who coats. I got two Doctor Who coats, but I got a lot of I got like leather jackets and sports jackets and like long kind of raglan type jackets and stuff like that. And of course there's my David Tennant one, and now is the Peter Capaldi one. But the Peter Capaldi fitted one, they said when I was buying it from Abishot, they're like, put in your measurements because it's a fitted coat. Hey, Indie Phantom. Oh, Second Sight got a sale going on, dude. You might want to check it out. And we lost the rights to doing Doctor Who stuff, so basically what we're doing is we're getting rid of all the stuff that we got. So make sure you put in your the right size for you. Unfortunately, Milwaukee, a lot of the Second Sight stuff isn't region free. It's going to be region B, though. Ann Reddy said that the extra that he has, if you like the movie Extra, which I think is really cool actually, is a region free title. So some will be, but just check beforehand on the website. I think they should let you know. And they do have, if you want, like, you just want to get Possession, for instance, you would just want the DVD, that one, want to see it. They do have it there with a couple features. Now, obviously the Blu-rays have more features than the DVDs. But if there's a movie you just want to check out, like Mac and Me, or maybe you want to see like Juice or something like that. I did. Like I literally did. Like you're joking, but you know what? Right after I made my video, about like 20 minutes after I made my video, I got a call from my better half, and and because she got a call from Kia, because as I mentioned on it before, our car, the engine kind of exploded, cracked. I showed you guys a picture of it. So they're taking care of that. So we got a Jeep actually for kind of a rental, which they're paying for because we're not paying. Thank you, Kat. There's there you go right there. Stranger Calls, the Basket Case Trilogy. Those are two amazing ones to pick up, by the way, and they're region free. I definitely recommend the Basket Case Trilogy, like hands down. I love that one. If you like the Basket Case films, it's a great way to get them and not pay a fortune for them. They're the Hen and Lauder films. You get like really good features on there as well, so they're not featureless. They actually have some pretty cool stuff on there. So I definitely would recommend those. But bump bump. Anyway, so my better half called me. She said we got to go pick a couple things grocery wise. We're not going to get everything today, but we got the Jeep. I was. The thing is that I wasn't a big Laserdisc collector. I got some Laserdisc now, and I got a Laserdisc player. It's actually facing me. That's the one. That's exactly when you're thinking of, dude. Oh, anyway, end of story. She picked me up. We went to the store. I was still wearing my coat. I kept it on. I wore my coat to go and get my couple groceries. Um, so I gotta make sure I got this turned down or I'm gonna hear myself speak, and I hate when that happens on here. Because I'm missing some of your comments, and I really do not like to miss the comments. I actually made it to 2100, which is not a lot for most people, but for me, it's been a long, it's been a long haul. So thank you guys for that, by the way. Oh yeah, VHS. So the thing was that I did collect a lot of VHS, but I moved around a lot when I was when I was younger. And when I say younger, I mean in my 20s and early 30s. So what that meant is I was always moving places, and I was never able to like keep a collection because I was always being sought off to pay for moves or stuff like that. And to be completely honest with you, I was not exactly I wasn't running around with a lot of cash on me at the time either. So for a long time, I would get stuff and I would have it for a while, and I wouldn't have I wasn't committed enough to it, I guess, to really collect and the way I do now. Now, when I go to Morocco, we've already setting up to have all this stuff shipped. That's kind of like the big deal for about a year and a half type thing. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And as for Laserdisc, there weren't something you could find in the area that I lived in any of the areas that I lived in. So around 3 years ago or so, actually just before, a friend of Logan's, or I don't know, you still talk to? Basically, someone Logan knows actually who has had a channel on here. Oh yeah, my better half's uncle bought us a condo in Morocco actually. We already have property there, and we'll be moving there in like well, we're still working at it. We're working at like when exactly the move is going to be. But I'm very much looking forward to it because I'm going to be running a bed and breakfast there, and I'll be teaching some English, and I'll be some semi-retiring as well. So in between the work it'll be like watching movies and traveling a bit because there's a bit of traveling over in that area that you do. Go to Canary Islands or go to London. Sometimes with her family, or sometimes like on business, that type of thing. So it's a very different lifestyle. I'm actually I'm nervous and looking forward to it at the same time. And I have been to Morocco, so and I fell in love the first time I went. But yeah, for Laserdisc, it was never something I could find around 3 or so years ago. Before that, anyway, a friend of Logan's, one year for a Christmas present, sent me some Laserdiscs, which was a joke because I didn't have a Laserdisc player, but he sent me some good Laserdiscs too, like some really nice stuff. So I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna get a player one these days. So I was on Kijiji, which is kind of like Craigslist. Dude, you totally have to visit me. And it is a big bed and breakfast type. We're not talking like a small, like a house type thing. We're talking like a big place. But I will definitely let you know because that's the neat thing about like places in Morocco is, well, I guess it's not like every place, but like if you're for a lot of places in Morocco, basically a room is like a room and a bathroom and sometimes like a living room as well. That's the neat thing. That's the cool thing because like I was visiting like and I was visiting her family for the first time, right? When we first went there, and you have to understand like before I go any further with this story, I'm the grandson of a carpenter, and my dad was a musician, played in a lot of bands and stuff. Needless to say, my lifestyle is very different than my better halves. So we me and her and my two kids, we fly in to Morocco. Yeah, actually, I'm thinking of that. They do have Warlock. There's one thing they do have an amazing in Marrakech has this incredible film festival there, and just to let you know, it's run by Scorsese, and a bunch of other guys. So you usually get like Scorsese's usually always there, and yeah, you get a lot of the big directors and actors that'll show up there. Martin Scorsese is a huge fan of Moroccan music, and one of the reasons behind world cinema, which is the thing that he did for Criterion and BFI did it, put it out as well. There was a movie called Trances, and it is a documentary about a band, Moroccan band, that has plays a specific type of music, and it's a really good documentary. And Scorsese had gone to Morocco and he'd fallen in love with the music in that there, and that documentary was something that he was really because he liked the band too. He wanted to get that out there, and around that time he started doing like this, films like saving films from around the world. Like so when he decided to do that, Trances from Morocco was one of those films, and more than likely a lot of those probably premiered originally at the Marrakech Film Festival, which is a huge, huge deal. My better half, her youngest sister, actually works. Usually, she'll go and work at the film festival. So she's met people like she's met Scorsese. She's met like a lot of these people that I just dreamed to meet, which I have not met. But I am definitely, when I move there, going to the Marrakech Film Festival and hopefully getting to meet some of these guys. I will suck up to my better half sister and definitely try to get to that film festival. So anyway, we touched down in Morocco, and I had no idea, guys. I suck at geography. It's one of my worst classes that I ever did. So I had very little like to go on when it came to like going to Morocco. I'd seen Casablanca. I watched The Man Who Knew Too Much, and I saw Tarzan films. So yeah, live from that would be good. Oh, Rich, that's actually, I wonder if I could pull that off. Ooh, that'd be nice. Probably not, but I get footage though. Try not to get kicked out. Anyway, so we get there, and dude, if I could get Vinegar Syndrome even notice me, it'd be fantastic. I legit am the Vinegar Syndrome guy for a podcast, and they still don't know who I am. At least I don't think they do. If they do it, then it's then I don't know about it. I love to travel. I just don't get to as much as I want to. So we get down there. We get to Marrakesh, and like the plane lands. We go through customs. I'm thinking, oh no, this is going to be like, and they like customs go through really fast. Um, so then the car picks us up and drives us back to the place, and we go through like this big like kind of like city place, and there's all these lights, and I'm looking around this food and people, and it's active, and it's really fun, and it seems kind of chill. So then we go, and these big gates open up, and we wind down this road, and I get out, and there's this huge, huge place. And I'm like, oh crap, this is not at all what I'm used to. And I was nervous about meeting the parents. Of course, you're going to be nervous. I met her mom, like, and I love her mom, but I never met her dad. And her dad's a big guy pilot. So I was like really nervous that, okay, one thing, we're at a place, well, this is a really big place, but are our rooms going to be close together? All that type of stuff was going through my head. And I get in there, and we get to our room, and it's like close to the outer doors, in the inside garden, and it's got like this bed and like TV, and there's like a bathroom, and I'm like, I could totally, if things don't go well, I could spend a lot of time in there, and survive. Even if it's got a little like fridge thing. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, it was a culture shock, but in a good way. It turned out really good. If you ever want to go to a place that's really chill and really relaxed, Morocco's a great place to go. Go to Essaouira. Check that out. A lot of people say you just go to Marrakech, go to Casablanca. Yeah, check out Casablanca, check out Marrakech, Rabat. All those places are really nice. But go to Essaouira. It's really cheap, and it's a pretty much surfing and a lot of Bob Marley and Beatles music playing all the time. Best gelato shop I've ever been to, and it's just super chill. It's like anybody that was a hippie from back in the '60s. It's like they went there and they stayed there, and time hasn't changed for them. So I've talked way too much myself. So guys, let's talk about horror. And I do apologize for the rant and the rambling on there. If I bored you, I'm so sorry. Did I lose you all? The thing is, and what you can probably understand this pain, is where I'm in Canada, a lot of the companies don't see it as like the sense stuff around here, right? I won't actually, like, I won't until Halloween, because that's part of my Halloween stuff. So in the third, if you're delving to the American Horror Project Volume 2, that's a good thing, because in the 31 Days of Horror, we're going to be talking about the American Horror Project Volume 2. Because I talked about the first volume here on a video. We'll be doing a video on the second volume, and anybody that's got that volume and and has watched it, when we're reviewing, it's a group review at that point, and that's actually a pretty fascinating. I think it's a pretty fascinating thing to do. I want to see, like, get people's opinions on stuff. I will drop some of the names of some of the films that I'm going to be doing for 31 Days of Horror right now, for people that are watching. I will give you like a kind of pretty much a list, and I'll let you know the days and all that before the 31 day starts. But we will be doing the American Horror Project Volume 2. We will be doing Zombie 3 and Zombie 4. I'm going to be going from the 7 releases for those. And we'll be doing Shocking Dark. Those are ones that I can tell you for sure right now that are going to be in the 31 Days of Horror. There will be some Asian horror. There will be some Lucio Fulci that on the list, and there's even going to be a documentary or two that will be horror related. And as you know, I guess I can probably say this too, is that barring any unforeseen circumstances, if you ever talk to him again, man, mention me, mention me. Because I never get to those cons. If I got to the con and spoke to him in person, I would, and I'd probably like try and film like something for my channel there as well, if you'd be okay with that. But what's it? Okay, so yeah, so Lucio Fulci. Oh yeah, and barring any unforeseen circumstances, Nightmare Beach by Umberto Lenzi, and Trilogy of Terror 2 by Dan Curtis, starring Lizette Anthony, should be two of the other titles that will be there within the 31 Days of Horror. So hopefully you're going to be interested in some of those titles at least. I'll try to put in a good mix of stuff in there. There is going to be a bit of Italian stuff this time around because I do find that a lot of the Italian stuff is going to be fun to talk about. And keep in mind that when I talk about a film, I'm not just going to be talking about the film itself. There are times when it's going to branch out. Well, I always branch out when we're talking, but it's going to branch out in other things as well. So I do want to have like a bit of discussion, not just on like on the Fulci, just talking about Fulci or Fulci's films, or like the Fulci film that I'm talking about. But I'm also going to be talking about Fulci versus Giordano Chirici. So that's quite an interesting topic, I think, as well. If you know the people that I'm talking, we know Lucio Fulci. He's a famous Italian director, but Giordano Chirici is a writer. He wrote a lot of your probably your favorite Italian horror films. Check him out on IMDb. And he worked with Fulci actually a bit until they clashed too much. And through one of my videos, I'm actually going to be not just talking about one of Lucio Fulci's films, but I'm also going to be talking about the eventual clash and feud between Lucio Fulci and Giordano Chirici. I don't know if I don't think I've seen it. I mean, I'll be completely honest, actually, Jackman, I don't think I've seen it. I love to own it, but I got some. I looked at it. I don't think I can afford it right now, but it looks like a really nice one. I mean, I know do you remember who directed that one? I'm actually kind of Paganini horror because the case was so nice looking. Idiot Films does really good jobs with a lot of their Italian releases. Oh, Lucio Cosi did it. Oh, okay. Gorgeous cover. And apparently it stars Dario Nicolodi, who was, of course, with Argento for quite a while and acted in a lot of his films. And it has the great Donald Pleasance in it as well. I skip with the storyboard because I don't want to know that. So who is doing the... Says the premise is promisingly absurd, but much of the movie plays like a routine slasher. So it sounds like I love it. It's a 1989 Italian giallo slasher film, apparently. That did badly at the box office, but you have to remember, it did badly at the box office when it came out in 1989. And as you know, by the time 1989 was around, both the giallo and the slasher genre were really, to a lot of people, feeling kind of tired and wore out. Even though some really great stuff came out around that time, because there had been a glut of it, and the people were really kind of feeling sadly about it. When you said the Dark Side, I thought of Dark Force, and I said, "Oh no, we're not talking about them again." Dark Side releasing. I don't have any of their stuff. I don't think. I'm pretty sure I don't have anything Dark Side releasing. Specialized Canadian only covers to a number of Dread films. Oh, that'd be interesting. Because you live in an area, Warlock. You're in Ontario, where that's like you can go to Bay Street Video. You can go into it's a Cinema One. There you got your places to go to get that type of stuff. For me, it's like trying to find it on Amazon.ca and hopefully or coming across it at my local Sunrise Records, which is 4 hours away. But I'm going to be looking into yeah, we'll be looking into that. A number of Dread films, like Dread Central. You mean Dread Central Presents, the ones that wasn't that the one Rob Glusa used to work for, and then he moved over to Fangoria Films? Or am I like mixing them up with something else? Yeah, I know you mentioned them before, but I'm horrible at. I'm going to go to their site right now, remembering some of the stuff. Yeah, Mug, hopefully, like I mentioned some of the films there, hopefully some of those you're feeling. All right, here we go. Dark Side release. Let's see what they got. The Dread Blu-ray series. Screamers, Monster Project, Dry Blood, Lasso, To Hell and Back. Oh, that's the Kane Hodder one. Okay, I know who they are. I don't have any of their stuff yet, but I do know who they are because they put it on Amazon Hotbox, right? Yes, they did. So yes, with exclusive slipcovers. A little pricey, but not really pricey considering the slipcover stuff that's there. Yeah, darksidereleasing.com is the website, by the way, guys. But it's definitely worth looking into. Hey, Adam. So did you enjoy his? I like his westerns. Fulci did some really good westerns, foreign movies into Canada, which I love. I was actually talking to someone last night, and because they mentioned like Ginger Snaps movies were ones that were wanted, and I showed like I've got the Ginger Snaps, like I'm sure Warlock has them and then Reddy has them, for sure. The Ginger Snaps here in Canada, E1 Entertainment, which is the company here in Canada, it's a release company here, put out the Ginger Snaps films like on DVD is a trilogy box set with a ton of features on them actually. I remember when Ginger Snaps, the first one came out, the original film on DVD. I had friends in the U.S. that were contacting me to find Ginger Snaps on DVD for them back at that time because the U.S. release wasn't a good release. It was fairly bare bones. Wasn't anything on it. Wasn't a lot of features, and the Canadian release had like a ton of features on it. Did you buy the box set too, like the big box set, which is still like is a good looking set. I mean, like you got the Werewolf on there. You open it up and it's got three films. All of them got like commentaries and special features and a bunch of stuff. So, which is incredible. The Origins purple case for Ginger Snaps. That's the third one, right? Because Origins. Oh, because the third one's the. Oh, you mean purple case? Yeah, I've got that one too. That's the one. That was the one that people were looking for. This is like my kind of my little like DVD horror section that I have over here, guys. I want to see if it's here. It's here somewhere. This is where I came over and picked out the Cabin by the Lake one that I did earlier on. Because this is a purple case, so it should stand out. Anyway, for people that are unaware that there's actually a Ginger Snaps trilogy, this is the trilogy right here that came out. I think it was a limited edition one. You can see the yeah, it's a really different cover on it. I got it here somewhere because I just found it at a I had it when it originally came out, but that went, and then I found it again at a flea market, and it was unopened. So I picked it up. I grabbed it right away, even though I had this one. So this is the same disc that's in the purple case, by the way, just so you know. And feature-wise on here, we're looking at what seemed like a lot at the time was like audio commentary, deleted scenes, statical trailers, cast and crew bios, and then you get to the next one. You're going to get storyboards, behind the scenes, director's commentary, Ghost comic book art. If you've seen the movie, you know what Ghost is. And you get commentary, deleted scenes, video diaries, a whole bunch of stuff. So this is what it looks like. I don't have silk stockings. I used to like that show. Rob Estes was on that one, wasn't I? Or are you talking about something else and I'm just getting it wrong? That's one of those Stephen J. Cannell things. I think it was Stephen J. Cannell. Or did I get that one wrong too? Like they put that out and at the same time, well, not them, but Alliance put out this prom night set, the collection. Now they put out two of these. After the remake came out, they put out the prom night one, but it has like the old school like cover, like with the mask on here and the knife. It's really nice looking. I actually got it for my cousin. So this set here is the first set. It's got 1 to 4, and they put out a second set which has the remake on it as well. which if I ever find it again, I'm going to get it just for the cover alone. Some people have said that they would hope that something like the Amityville films might be part of the Vinegar Syndrome like series. So that's Amityville 4: The Evil Escapes. Actually, this is a pretty fun one. It's Patty Duke, Jane Wyatt. Who was in that one? Norman Lloyd. Yeah, Norman Lloyd was in that one too. But cool cheesy stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything that they could put out that's here. The Relentless films, that would be kind of cool. Network put it prominent over there. I'm looking here as I'm doing this. I'm trying to think of like some other stuff that might be possible that they could put out. This is the infamous, talked about earlier, Jack Frost 2, The Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman, which ironically is a film about Jack Frost that is shot in an island resort. But I was hoping there'd be something, and this is the movie we talked about last night, which I recommend you guys check out, which is Pin. This is Andrew Niederman film. I always thought this was Anchor Bay, but it's actually Seville. And if you want to see what Pin looks like, there, that can haunt your nightmares. Also, by the way, same. I love Slugs actually. Slugs is. I only have this Midnight Madness series release. I know there's a release put up. Was there a release put up by Arrow? Right? Arrow put this out too. But I just got the Midnight Madness one. I was in Ontario. I was up in Ottawa, and this something like this might be a possibility because they do, after all, right, have a Lakeshore Entertainment like deal, and as you can see, this here is Lakeshore Entertainment. You might be onto something there, dude. Oh, you got the Anchor Bay release? I got that's what I thought I had, but mine is from Seville actually. Other movies that I'm trying to see things that I think need upgrades, because I thought we'd go somewhere different for a change. Can you imagine if they put out if their box set was like the Tim Ritter films? How would you feel about that, guys? If like their box set was like the Truth or Dare films? If you're not familiar, Tim Ritter did a bunch of these these really low budget, micro budgeted, kind of like Z grade, like gore fest, called Truth or Dare, a series of Truth or Dare films. And this is the third one. This is Screaming for Sandy's Truth or Dare 3. I never thought of who put out Truth or Dare. Let's just say SRS Cinema. I do not know they are. I don't remember them. But can you imagine if their box set is Truth or Dare? Does anybody here besides me know who Tim Ritter is and know these films? They're an interesting footnote in the micro budget regional horror things. If you haven't seen them, they're definitely worth a watch. I wouldn't go out of my way to spend like a ton of money on them, but they're something that it's different. And I often, I don't think so. I think it's just a guy that has the name Ritter. I don't think they're related. If they are, I was unaware of it before. I think I thought about it, but I don't think they are. Killjoy Collection. No, I don't think they'll do that. I mean, like what? It's gonna be full one anyway. This is the worst anthology movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Ones that you wouldn't want to go with. Clowns are hot right now. trying to think what they could do. Something different. There's the Die Delta Pi. That was a different one. Don Dohler's Alien Factor was made by Fiddle and Ray, but I don't think this has ever gotten a Blu-ray release, has it? If it has, I do not know about it. But yeah, I was just trying to think of like movies that could possibly be in that box set. Ripper Letters from Hell. That's there's those. Though I don't think anybody would be rushing to get Ripper's Letter from Hell. But I thought they were okay. Now I watched it with my better half and my kids. They hated it. They hated Ripper's Letter from Hell. And I came back like a week later because it was at a flea market, and I found part two, and they were like, "You can watch it. We're not watching it." But I thought it was okay. I thought it wasn't that bad of a film. But they thought it was a painful watch, to be completely honest with you. I'm looking here to see what I can find. But if I keep that up, I'm going to lose you. There we go. You guys have been quieter tonight, which has meant I've had to do more talking and go around my house a lot. That Warlock has mentioned a bit, and that's something that I'd like to see, but with another country. I would love, in the greedy way, a Canucksploitation, a Canadian horror project, Canucksploitation set, the tax dodge horror. That would be a great pickup. Can you imagine getting? And I'm not sure who put it out, but I know it's out there. It's a movie that I've watched a lot of times on like streaming services, but I've never really owned it. And that is the excellent film. I'm just going to stand by it. It's an excellent film, Cannibal Girls, by Reitman, by Ivan Reitman. It's an early film by him. It stars Eugene Levy, I think Eugene Levy, and Andre Martin, who here in Canada at least would be better known for SCTV later on. But it is a extremely Canadian horror film. If you've never seen it, it is called Cannibal Girls. And it is about this couple that are driving in the winter, and it is really cold, and their car breaks down in the snow. And they got to go to a, I'm making this sound really exciting, ain't I? They got to go to a place to get it fixed up. Asian horror Blu-ray set. I'm sure Asian movie guy would hear like that. What are good Canadian horror films? That is a good question. Hey, Brian. Is there really? Ooh. Yes, there is. All right. I got to get that. I got the really good Arrow edition of Rabid, but I will get it again for that. What are some good Canadian horror films? Warlock and Ready? Indy? What are some good Canadian horror films that aren't available, like readily on Blu-ray? Like obviously, we can always say the David Cronenberg stuff and the, stuff like that, and the Bob Clark stuff. But as for like Canadian horror, there's a lot of it, like a lot more than you realize, and a lot more than I can think of right now. But I would kill to have Cannibal Girls. That is not Action Jackman. That is such a fun film. How can you find that a letdown? Visiting Hours. Yeah, Blu-ray. That was put up by Scream Factory, but it is a good Canadian horror film. But what's not out there? What do we got that's not out there? You got to rewatch Action Jackman. You got to rewatch that film, because it's not a cannibal film, right? It's different, and it has a lot of the Reitman. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what. Well, that's the killer part about it. Trying to find something that's that's not out there. Let's see. I'm gonna cheat, and I'm gonna look up Canadian horror. I should know this because I spent like 2 years, like studying Canadian horror films. The original My Bloody Valentine. Well, it's been put by Scream Factory. Tell me, but yeah, that's that would have been a good release. Okay, or American Mary by the Soska Sisters. That's a newer one. Pontypool. I actually like Pontypool. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Spookies. There you go. The Ginger Snaps films, of course, those are out. Cube. They could do the Cube series, I guess. I love the first Cube. The Prom Night films, I guess those really are like only the first ones really out. So with the Prom Night series, I think a lot of people would be excited to get those on Blu-ray. The Rec films have a box set from Scream Factory actually, with some amazing features on them. I almost picked it up once, but I ended up going with something else instead. If they could rest Ghost Keeper, which is a kind of a rare, like Canadian horror film that was put out from Code Red. Uh, there's a thought. It's been a while since I've seen End of the Line. Death Dream, of course, already right there. Cannibal Girls. Pin would be an excellent choice. Pin, which I showed you, that's on DVD. So I don't think that's ever gotten a Blu-ray release. So Pin would be an amazing one. Uh, if Switch a Canadian horror film. The Carpenter with Wings Hauser is another Canadian horror film. Oh yeah, the original My Bloody Valentine, Tommy, was shot here in Nova Scotia. That's where I live right now, and it was shot 10 minutes away from me actually. There is a place here. I live in North Sydney. There's a place called Sydney Mines, and Sydney Mines is for what was renamed for the original My Bloody Valentine, Valentine's Bluff. And I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I really have to do it before the snow comes in. I'm going to go and I'm going to take some footage, and I'll be I'll be doing like I'll be showing you guys some Sydney Mines as it looks here now in 2019. So I will take you guys back to Valentine's Bluff in one of my videos. Unfortunately, that won't be something I will be able to do live, more than likely, but I will, get some footage, splice it together, come back here, and show you guys. So Rich, just yeah, the Rec films have like a really decent one. Uh, Shivers actually got a really good edition through Arrow Video. Initially, there's some issues, but afterwards they fixed them and put out like a replacement disc, and and now it has a great uncut edition with some extra stuff in the documentary as well. Actually, Jacqueline, I do apologize. Do I think there'll be individual cases? I do think there'll be individual cases. I got a feeling there will be. Because I was going to mention the Eureka announcements. It has been fun. And I was going to mention the Eureka announcements yesterday, but I forgot. So let's bring them up right now, really quickly. I love Eureka Entertainment. I think they're a really good company, and they put out a lot of great stuff. I will be interested in finding out about their when that sale finally happens. So Eureka made 4 announcements, and they announced Durgalam. They announced the African Queen. They announced a Fistful of Dynamite, which is kind of a fun one. Rod Steiger and James Coburn. And last but not least, they announced the series 7 and 8, I think, of the classic British, I guess, high school kid show, whatever. Not high school, well, kid show, Grange Hill, which is famous for having, one of the teachers leaving after the actor left that show. He went on to Coronation Street and played a little character that, if you watch Coronation Street ever, by the name of Richard Hillman. And if you know Coronation Street, you know exactly who that is. Now, to see what comments I missed when I went to look for that for you. Fistful of Dynamite, Dakuseka. They look like really good releases. They look like They look like thick releases too. They don't look like. It could be just the way the pictures are, but they look like kind of thicker releases. It does look like it. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy. See, the thing with it is that Rich is it could be three, it could be a trilogy, or each one of those cases could have two Blu-rays in it as well. So that could be six. What's a bizarre take on Grange Hill? Like, I was trying to think. Yeah, it is, but it's true. The guy that played the teacher was, he played Richard Hillman afterwards. The resident corny psycho. You shouldn't have came home. Anybody that doesn't know Coronation Street doesn't know at all what I'm talking about. But it was a really good storyline anyway. I think we're going to get individual cases. I don't think there's going to be a booklet. If there's a booklet, then it's going to be like it's going to be probably like four movies, and kind of like they'll be done. Like an individual booklet, not like in a case booklet. With because I don't think it's going to be two films, especially for the MSRP that they got, because MSRP is higher than it is in previous years. I know, but I still think of what I think when it comes to Grange Hill. Then some of the episodes that stand out. I actually did watch Grange Hill. Obviously I grew up with Degrassi High, but here in North America we were really big on British television, so we watched a lot of that stuff. Grange Hill, Minder, the Sweeney, Touch of Frost, stuff like that. We watched a lot of that stuff. Of course, Doctor Who. I mean, like they do sometimes. Like Rich, if you want to see them like loaded up on features, then obviously you got to grab. There's something out there. Oh, Dear Gollum is a great companion release to Haxon. Excellent, and they'll make an excellent either a double feature or two nights of watching for your 31 Days of Horror. I thought about doing a video. I actually, until the second site sale was announced this morning, my original idea for this video here, just to let you guys know, and if it's something that you're interested in, I'll do it down the road, is earlier on, about around a week or so ago, I did 31 days of alternative horror. And I had planned to do this week, to do like a 31 days of classic horror in much of the same way where I did a list of 31 days of like, not horror films that I'm going to be doing on the thing, but horror films that are ideas. So if you guys are interested in that, I may do like kind of a list type video where we talk where I do a 31 days of classic horror, where it's all going to be where I'm going to pick 31 classic films that to look into. I'll try to pick some cool stuff and some different stuff out there. But if that's something you're interested in, let me know, because that was my original genesis of an idea for now. October is fantastic. Thank you. Because I like some people come in here and for some reason, Brian, your comment got like stopped twice about too, and I had to like just hit it so that it shows up. Um, Thank you, Sucker. A Beastmaster set. I like Coscarelli, so I wouldn't mind seeing that. But yeah, that was my initial idea for Friday. So I would definitely be looking into that then. So what I'll do is I'll try to pick things like in the classic era, whether it's going to be Universal or some independent stuff, like Return of the Vampire, and maybe even like some of the cheesier stuff as well from that era. And I'll pick a cutoff date. So I'll do that sometime next week, or maybe Saturday or Sunday, depending on when I get my next video out, because of weather. That's like legitimately because of weather. Weather. There. That's my Newfoundland talk for you right there, right now. And I've been talking for over 100 minutes. With that being said, before I bore you all into an oblivion of slumber, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And going through like the sale. If you haven't checked out Second Sight, they're a really nice company. They put out a lot of really good stuff, and they put out some great editions. Now there is a difference in features. Oh yeah, it's gotten really cold here, and it's been noticeable since I came down. I should be wearing my Doctor Who coat tonight, uh, because it has gotten really cold here. Uh, so definitely check out Second Sight. You can get some great stuff like the Nun configuration, or basket case trilogy, and When a Stranger Calls and When a Stranger Calls Back as a double feature rather than having them buy them separately with the Sitter original short film there. So thank you guys for watching. I am Aaron. This is the Movie Library. You guys are the Movie Club. As always, you guys rock, and you're the special part that makes these videos work as well as they do. Hopefully they work well, so as well as they work. Oh yeah, then definitely Brian. It's I think it's like what's it, £15.99 or 2 for 20 for the for well, I'd go for 2 for 20. Have a great evening, and I will see you later because I've been waiting for the dishes to do to get my tea. It's time for tea. We will soon be talking about the 31 days of classic horror.